All right, everyone, welcome back to Slim, Slam and the Bandwagon Fan, episode 2. I'm Slim, to my right, that's Slam, and to my left, we all know him, the big guy, Bandwagon Fan. How are we, boys? Feeling all right?
Mate, doing well. Pleasure to be here and happy to be here.
Absolutely, and I love that. Slam, how are we feeling?
Stoked to be here, mate.
Yep.
Can't wait. Episode
Lovely.
2. What do we got to look forward to tonight?
Tonight, everyone at home, to the fans who have shown us so much support over the last couple of days since we've gone live, we really appreciate it. We're treating you to a little bit of the South tonight. A bit of AFC, a bit of NFC, and we're going to really dive into some real controversial teams. I know I've got plenty to say about Tampa Bay, and a few of the other boys have got some controversial topics too. We're also debuting tonight a really interesting new concept that's kind of been birthed probably in the last 12 hours. Schnazzy, do you want to give everyone a bit of a rundown on just what to expect from the stock exchange?
Mate, the stock exchange, the name says it all. We're going to have the four to five most hyped teams this preseason. Obviously excluding the two favourites being the Ravens and the Chiefs. Yep. And we're going to have a chat. I've got something to say. Slam has got something to say. We're going to say who we're buying and then who's not a blue chip stock so far that we're going to be trading in.
So if I was the Wolf of Wall Street, I'd be trying to sell you something from the first list. And if you're a smart man, you'd be buying something from the second.
Penny stocks, mate. You need to bring the penny
That's
stocks
right.
on.
That's right. I think with that kind of introduction, we might jump straight into that, Slam. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
Yep. All right. So if I'm gonna set up, my own little Wall Street here and ask you if you were to sell, I should say, no, buy. I've just shambolically mucked that up off the gate. But if you're going to buy stock, who are we going to go with?
In which teams, Blaze? The ones, the premiums or the blue chips?
In the blue chips.
In the blue chips.
Okay, premiums and blue chips are
Yep.
pretty much the same things.
Premiums, they are the
Blue
same
chips and
thing.
penny stocks.
Penny stocks.
Can we get an accountant here to sort out our first run through on this?
Why are you looking at me? I like an office works.
All right, so out of the blue chips that I'm going to sell,
Yeah.
So
Who do you want to move on? Who do you want to move on?
We've got the four teams with the most hype this season that haven't really done anything yet. We've listed as the Bucks, the Bills, the Cowboys, and the Cards.
Right.
Now, the team that I'm not buying out of those four that I want to sell my stock in, I'm going with the Cowboys.
Right. And we know from last week that you don't have heaps of time for the Cowboys.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not super hot on them. Granted, the strength of schedule was looking pretty easy for them there, but I'm just still not buying it. I haven't seen anything. Nothing makes me go, yep, I can guarantee you there'll be a force. So if I'm selling anyone, I'm selling the Cowboys. How about you, Schnaz? Who are you selling?
I'm going to be selling the Cardinals, and I'm purely going to be selling them based on their division. They've got the Seahawks, they've got the Rams, and they've also got the Niners in that division. That is a division that is absolutely stacked.
That's the best division in football.
100%. Yeah,
All
100%.
four of those teams, in my opinion, should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, it's not going to happen, and I reckon the Cardinals could be the odd one out here.
Yeah.
Because Kyler Murray, there's a lot of pressure being placed on his shoulders.
Although technically, could it happen?
Well, it could.
Well, technically,
It could
with
for the
new-
first
with the new
time ever.
With the new playoff structure,
They'd
there's
all
a-
have
there's-
to be bloody. Like, they'd have to almost not lose outside the division.
There is every chance they all will be that good.
Yeah, that's true.
But
But
I
they'd
guess
have to
they have
be.
to play each other
You
as
can't
well,
have a
which is-
hiccup. Like, yeah.
Yeah, when you've got your divisional games as well, you're gonna get some losses in there because there's no easy divisional games.
Yeah.
No, there's
So-
not one.
That's why I'm selling the Cardinals.
No one that is a Cardinal fan out there, like a fan back home, should be taking that to heart. I think that's not saying anything.
There's no offense.
You've got DeAndre
from that at
Hopkins
all.
coming into that team, who is an absolute certified stud.
Yeah.
Like he is.
There's a reason his nickname's Nuke.
That's right. He just Ash Newcomb. But from there, I think we want to talk about if you're going to move on the Cowboys, Chuck.
Yeah.
So you're gonna sell your stock that you've got in Jerry Jones's boys, and you've got a bit of coin to play with.
Yeah.
Who are you going to then dump that into to really see some uptake that maybe people aren't really expecting, or maybe flying under the radar a little bit?
All right, a team that I don't think anyone's talking about at the moment, that I'm not going to say they're going to win the whole thing, but I think they're a sneaky dark horse, and there's a bunch of stuff that I do like about them.
Yep.
And that's the Vikings.
Right.
I just like what the Vikings have got. I mean, they've lost Diggs. That's going to hurt. So Thielen is going to have a good year. But Dalvin Cook at running back is a monster.
Yeah.
And if he goes on another year like last year and could even build on that, he might have to run them the whole way there, similar to what we saw with Derrick Henry last year.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I don't think it's out of the world of possibility that he could do something like that. What about you, Schnaz? Who might you buy?
Before I jump into who I'm buying there, I'm going to have to mention him, Kirk Cousins.
He's your boy. He got almost as much airtime as he who shall not be named tonight.
And we're not going to be naming him.
Yep.
But yes, Kirk Cousins. I agree with that, but then the big question mark with them is always Kirk Cousins and can he play in the playoffs?
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't hate that call.
But did he silence some of those doubters last year with that playoff win in New Orleans?
A little sneaky run there. But
Was it
in the Superdome?
Was it a fluke?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, let's be honest. 95% of people tipping, myself included, last year would have had the Saints absolutely rolling through Minnesota last
100%.
year.
Yeah.
No one in their right mind was tipping them. So, I don't know. I mean, still, his Monday night record speaks for itself.
It
let's
does.
be honest,
It's like the bright lights come on and Kirk goes to
They do.
water. So
the Friday night lights.
Friday Night Lights, indeed. Yeah, it's one of our favourite shows, Chucky.
So true.
And movies, for
Good
that matter.
show.
Yeah, if you haven't
Good show,
seen
good
it,
movie.
make sure to check it out. I'm not
Just
sure
like
what
kiss
it's
and
on.
hold hands while you watch that together.
I'm not going to go there, actually.
Back on track. The team I'm going to be buying is going to be the Browns.
The Browns.
And the only reason the Browns, in my opinion, aren't being hyped this year is because there wasn't even a list of 4 teams last year that were being hyped. It was the Browns.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted the Browns.
Well,
Everyone expected
They
big
spent a
things
lot
out
of
the
money.
Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Madden ratings alone from Madden 20 that's just gone, and I know Madden 21's coming out. Their ratings were ridiculous.
Off the charts. Any
Ridiculous.
sim year you had, the Browns were going to the Super Bowl or at least the conference final. It was
Correct.
like, why?
Couldn't get near it.
So,
I'd have had some Madden shade to throw there.
I imagine you would. And you might just when we roll around to them. But
There'll be something.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Schnauzy?
we'll get to it. But yeah, I think there's no reason the Browns shouldn't be hyped other than the fact this year that they disappointed everyone last year and no one wants to buy something that previously lost them money.
Yeah.
It's
That's
simple
so
as
true.
that.
Everyone
And
gets gun
if
shy.
you've held, the price of
Yeah.
that stock is so much less than you bought it for last year.
Well,
Mate, the stock
you've got
market's
to ride.
crashed. You've gone through a bit of a recession. You're coming out the other side, and they are trending up.
You've got to hold
So
your
big
bond.
time.
You've got to hold your bonds and really hold your nerve. I think if you're a Browns fan or even just a football enthusiast, because I think the Browns being good is such a foreign concept to anyone in the NFL, and I think there is an element of people that would like to see them be good.
Well, we haven't seen it in our lifetime.
We haven't, correct.
No.
So I know we've got a couple of Browns fans that tune in, and I think they're probably hanging tight, just waiting for that turn corner moment. And I think there's every chance they could.
Yeah.
I think
They're just
they
waiting
might
for
have
me
been a
to
bit-
jump on the bandwagon. They are just waiting for me to go full force.
That's
Just come
it.
in here.
That's it.
Bound!
But there is a factor too with the Browns that it's personalities, and you got Baker, you got Odell, you got Jarvis Landry,
There's a lot of noise.
and Kareem Hunt as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got 4 guys there that have.
Miles Garrett too.
And Miles Garrett, exactly. So you've got a whole host of characters there that don't exactly have squeaky clean records
No.
or personalities that. I mean, Nick Chubb is probably the only one that you never hear from, and he's
That's
probably the
so
best
true.
player they've got at the minute.
He's very
So-
underrated.
Pretty confident he might have got a concussion at training this week too.
Yeah, right.
Did Garrett hit him with a helmet?
Nick Chubb might have been running full force into a wall or something like that.
That's
At practice.
Every chance.
That boy, I know we brought up Chase Young as being an absolute man, a beast of a footballer. I think Nick Chubb probably fits in that same kind of category. He's
So true.
he's a bowling ball that would just run you the F over.
Yeah. Like if he was going to be in a Disney movie, Schnars.
I had a
not rehash
feeling
the
he
past.
might want to jump in with
I reckon
Disney
he's trying to
references.
level up his Disney references with me. I was 2-0 last week. He's
Yeah,
brought it
I
back.
can't be having it.
Well,
I
this is a
can't be
bloke
having
that
it.
has a picture of Walt Disney in his cryogenic chamber on his wall in his room. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, me and Walt are going to be in the same team.
Yeah, the ice tomb.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how good that gag was. That was probably passé.
Is Ice Age a Disney movie?
No, that
No,
was.
I don't think so.
You'd know, but
Yeah.
yeah, no.
I'll
All
move
right.
him up over here.
I'm not too worried about that stock exchange little segment there, Schnauzy. I think it's got merit. I think we'll iron out. Obviously, there was a couple of issues getting going there and trying to figure out how we wanted to
Just
present
issues with
it.
the
But
team.
How stock exchange works.
yeah, there is. I mean,
Day trading's a foreign concept to a few of the boys here.
that's
so
so
we'll,
true.
we'll,
Massive.
we'll
mean-
give them the 101 accounting for dummies.
I'm not
stock
ex-
exchange for dummies, and we'll get them right.
I'm
we'll get
not
them
exactly confident what ASX actually even stands for. But
right. Yeah, neither.
that's probably a slight
The
concern.
American Football League Stock Exchange.
Yeah, there it is. We're rambling
Very
again.
good. It wouldn't be Slim Slam and the Bandwagon fan without a touch of rambling in the intro.
That's so true.
But nah, very good. I think it's one of those things we can run back and also, reflect, do a retrospective
Oh,
review of how we've gone. And
I'm massively hot on retrospective reviews and then trying to call people out.
Yeah, I
with
bloody
hindsight.
hope the Vikings don't go 6-10.
That's right. And I personally would absolutely love it. But hey, I love that. But what I love more is AFC South. Actually, that's not
Jesus.
probably
I was
fair.
gonna
I
say.
love the AFC South, but I love talking about it.
Sure.
I love talking footy with you boys. So we're going to jump right in. I might lead with you, Sammy, as I usually do.
That's smart.
First team off the rip, AFC South. What you got for me?
All right, so we're going to talk about the Titans first up.
All right. Yep.
All right. I'll just get straight into the ins and outs.
Yeah. No, go.
All right, so Ins, we got Vic Beasley came in from Atlanta. That's a pretty decent get in my opinion. And that's pretty much it in the terms of ins. He's
an off-ball linebacker.
Yeah,
Beasley. Yeah.
Outside linebacker.
Yeah.
They picked up Isaiah Williams, the offensive tackle from Georgia, and they picked up Fulton, a cornerback from LSU. So pretty much anyone you're getting from LSU, they can probably play.
Probably a safe bet.
Yeah.
Stock. You'd buy
Probably more so not ins, but just massive re-signings. They were able to re-sign Henry and re-sign Tannehill, which is obviously good for the organisation.
The way he played, he showed enough to probably
Yeah,
earn that
I'd have been
contract.
re-signing Henry before I re-signed Tannehill, but each to their own. They can do what they like.
Yep.
Just Mariota's gone. So he's off to Vegas.
I'm sure some of our fans at home, I know our boy Sawley, who will be tuning in,
Yeah.
for sure, a Titans fan, he would be happy to see the back end of Mariota.
Oh, yeah, I think most people would.
Yeah.
I
So, I was happy to see him.
Legs getting traded in the same season or released in the same season.
Yeah, the former number 1 and number 2 overall picks in the same year, both
There's some parallels.
both gone.
Some parallels.
But yes, so he's gone. I was happy to see him land in Las Vegas because any way to keep them going, keep them going poorly is fine by me. And then Logan Ryan, I don't think he's signed anywhere else yet, but looks like he won't be playing for Tennessee next year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So my overall record for the Titans, I've got him at. Where is it? I've got him at 10-6.
Right, which is a pretty healthy record.
Healthy record.
No one in the East last week. I think even in the NFC, you had
I had 9-7 and 8-8
so,
as my 2 division winners. So that's the best record of the season so
Best team in
far.
football according to Slammer.
That's right.
Only because we're 3 divisions in, and those 3 divisions don't rock.
That's
so, so I've got the Titans going 10-6 now. As we posted on our Instagram story today, I posted, will the Titans go over 9.5 wins or under 9.5 wins? And interesting enough, a lot of people agree with me. 76% of people think that the Titans will go over 9.5.
Which is a huge number,
That is a
considering
massive
Titans
number.
are a bit of an unknown. I mean, how much stock do you put in Derrick Henry? That run that he had last year, I would never take anything away because, as we said with Chubb,
Thing is,
He
though,
was
he
also a
only
bowling
really
ball,
got
but
hot in the last half of the
6
season.
weeks. Yeah,
Like,
he did.
the first half was nothing.
Still ended up with 1,500 yards as well.
Yeah, but to win the rushing title on the last day, he needed 200 and something yards, I think, and that's a fair ask. So the last half of the year, he went absolutely off his tits, and especially in the playoffs as well, they would it was him or bust.
Yeah, correct. And ultimately they did bust, but
well, only because they came up against the GOAT.
that was to be expected. But
I wouldn't call that playoff run a bust though for them. They weren't expected to win a game.
I think they would have been chuffed.
No.
They would have been chuffed to play in that game. And
100%.
I'd be lying if I didn't see on this couch out here Chucky watching that game with just that sliver of concern about Derrick Henry and our run defense. That was
big boy.
No, I was never concerned.
Yeah,
I was never concerned.
Yeah.
I knew we were going to run it home.
Same
way that we'll run it back.
You can get nothing but hubris from this boy. And
I've seen you crying from losses in playoffs. I remember one.
Don't bring it up against the Titans. Don't you dare.
Yeah, correct. It wasn't too long ago that this that result went the other way in the wild card. I think.
Yeah, sitting at Braden Hayward Ferris's house watching Mariota throw a pass that he then caught himself and ran into the end zone. If that doesn't rip a man's heart out, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Travis Kelce got concussion at halftime too, didn't he?
Yeah, didn't play. Yeah.
It was
Not to mention,
day.
I'm pretty sure we had a strip that we then ran back for a touchdown, and I was doing laps of Braden's house. I need to come back and work out that in actual fact we were offsides.
Yes,
and that didn't count.
And we haven't had heaps of.
I thought people were kidding.
We're not
and they
talking
weren't.
Chiefs. We're not talking. We're getting carried away. That is to come.
Schnazzy, what do you got the Titans? What do you got the Titans?
Away with 2 Chiefs fans here, but no, I've got the Titans 9-7, and although I've got them 9-7, I don't think they are a great team.
Mm-hmm.
No, see, I don't think they're a great team either, but somehow I ended up at 10-6. But it is a weak division.
It is a weak division. They have, they're about a middle of the road side on strength of schedule.
I think that's definitely fair.
And that's probably about where they are as well, wins and loss. I've got huge question marks still over Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
He stunk it up at the
Couldn't
Fins
agree more.
for so long, and then
Actually, one
Mariota
of the years
was
at the
no
Fins,
good.
he was all right.
If we're talking about a streak
one
from
year
Derrick
over how
Henry,
many
Yeah, he's very up and down.
Yeah.
And I mean, that whole playoff run, they weren't asking him to do a lot. They won a game when he had 12 attempted passes or something.
well, I mean, it's hard to give
But
Derrick Henry a bit of flack for his run when Tannehill's run is probably earned him that contract, and he's probably a great unknown as opposed to
But I
Henry.
think that's the thing. What I was saying before, how they did it in the last half of the year with Henry.
Well, Mariota
I don't think they
as well.
Yeah, I don't think they can do what they did with Henry in the last 8 to 10 games over say they go that far, a 19 game span. If you run him like that, he's going to get just beat up and killed.
Knee injury away from Henry from being absolutely no good this year.
Yeah.
100%.
Because Tannehill last year,
debate from
looked
him.
at the stats earlier today, he had 22 touchdowns in 12 games. That's not a lot of touchdowns.
No. Well, your boy Daniel Jones had more than that from
Yeah,
memory.
24.
Oh, Danny Dimes, baby.
Danny Dimes.
One of the most popular
We'll
players.
even get to Gardner Minshew soon. I reckon he had 21 or 22 as well.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be asking him to throw the ball, you're not going to be going too well if you're a Titans fan. So you've got to pray and hope that Derrick Henry holds up and that he can repeat last year's success. But although in saying that, the division's not a great division.
No.
They've got a pretty good string of
It's not a
schedule.
great. It's not a great division, but it is an interesting division, and I think there's a couple of interesting ones. And I'm going to chuck.
They didn't win the division last year, did they? The Texans won the division.
Texans won the
Texans
division.
won the division.
Yeah, Titans got in that wild card
That's
and
right.
worked their
That's
way
right.
whole up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Beat old man Brady in the first game.
Correct.
So true. We'll speak about him later.
We're actually hitting our first ever, not a roadblock per se, but maybe a bit of a speed bump. All last week and so far with the Titans, both of you
Huge
have
sample size.
both of you have had your selections in line in terms of where people are going to be finishing in their division. Now we come to the second team, arguably a wild card place in the AFC South.
We're really thinking on the fly here, aren't we?
Absolutely, mate. Houston
God.
Texans for Sam, Colts for Schnars. Now,
So,
let's just have a debate over why.
Let's talk about the Colts because we've both got the Colts
So 8
with the
and 8.
same.
Right, okay,
record.
I can do that, and then we can explain why.
And then we have 67% of our fans as well reckon the unders for 8.5 wins, which, aligns with our 8-8
Yep.
record. So we're
The fans
pretty
are
much
on.
bang
The fans
here.
are on.
Yep. Well, the fans often are. They're not often.
Wouldn't be a line that I
That's
would
why they're
touch,
sport
though.
fans.
Would not be a line that I would touch.
No, it's way too close to
So
call.
me with the Colts this year, the Colts, they have everything. It's like they've got a recipe for success laid out. It's can the players go out there and do their thing. Their defense is pretty good. You've got a quarterback who's a lot better than Jacoby Brissett last year.
Yep.
But then Phillip Rivers is, the last few years has had a few question marks. Like you look at the Charge and you think the Chargers team's pretty good. They had not all the pieces, but most of the pieces there, and they couldn't quite get it to work. So you chuck him in a little bit of a better situation. Has he slowed down with old age? Is he going to,
Oh, he's getting slower year by year.
Well, that's going to be a consistent question or not, I think. But not
shade at Brady right over here.
not just for Phil, but
Yeah.
Continue. Sorry.
So, and their number one receiver for the past few years has obviously been T.Y. Hilton.
Yep.
Been an amazing receiver. He's aging
Underrated
out.
as hell, I think.
31 this year. But the big drop off last year, I know he had a few injury concerns, still played 10 or so games, only 550 yards, which was down from 1,300 yards in 2018.
Yeah. Now that leads directly into my Madden shade. Bit of T.Y. Hilton.
Go for it.
Let's go.
Now
baby.
T.Y. Hilton, according to Madden, is listed as an 87.
Right.
Right?
87.
87.
Okay.
That's too damn high.
Too damn high.
That's too damn high.
Right.
That gives him a higher rating than Darius Leonard, their middle linebacker, who is an absolute gun. And you're going to tell me T.Y. after like 550 yards receiving or something you said there is an 87?
So they're obviously judging him on a
You need
body
it,
of work as opposed
Yeah,
to...
like some blokes seem to get a 4-year rating and some blokes get a very snap rating. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You kind of semi-baked the people down at Madden for their ratings last
I'll be baking
week,
them constantly.
in regards to the Wentz Prescott.
But if
debacle.
they need some sort of Australian guy to come in and
You are
just
a
hit some
sellout.
ratings
That
up,
is a
I'm your
sellout.
guy. I know it all. If you need someone overseas to do a job,
Is this another guarantee?
perhaps while you're all asleep, I'll be hard at yakka here during the day and I'll give you some fresh ratings.
Both cameras, please, when you guarantee.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Slammers guarantee.
Everyone did... there was a lot of love for Slammers Guarantee. Of
course.
I mean, that was just...
Because
one of
people
the-
just know it's facts.
Yeah, or they just
Won't
think
be a
you're
lot of
bit-
love after round 16 when they're all...
Yeah, when they've jumped all over it.
Imagine if
Sportsbet's
I
been
picked
loaded
7
up
out of
and
7.
then... Yeah. There's a fair bit of imagining
I think
going on in that scenario.
Finishing that point off as well, T.Y. Hilton noted he's got a bit of a hamstring issue too, bit of an old man issue.
Drop the rating.
So the rating...
We said last week that Jaceki might struggle because of his new quarterback. I mean, Phil Rivers is coming in with a turnover ratio that would, I don't know, make anyone...
Make anyone squeamish.
Oh, yes. So, you
hold
know...
up. Jameis Winston could only hit Dream.
Jameis Winston's not going to be a starting quarterback this year, though, so that's okay.
We'll get to that.
He might.
We are going to get to that.
He might.
But, so let's talk about the Ins for Indianapolis, and they're not bad, actually, here. They've done some stuff.
Yes, I know one you're going to talk about is pretty lit.
Jonathan Taylor? Is that the one you want to talk about? So Jonathan Taylor was the running back from Wisconsin. Pretty lit. Pretty good get, especially at pick 41 of the draft. That was a massive get. They also picked up Pittman, the wide receiver out of USC. Now, Phil, I think it was actually a good get because the difference with Phil in Indy compared to Phil at LA, the offensive... Yeah, but the offensive line at Indy is way better than the offensive line at the Chargers.
No doubt.
And that rookie, what's his name? Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson is a absolute beast.
Freak show.
Absolute
Yeah, freak
beast.
show.
Like, shout out to Hutchie.
Yeah.
He might be Hutchie's favourite
Yeah, 100%.
player in the entire game,
100%.
and he's a tackle.
Hutchie
Like,
loves
it's
Quentin
ridiculous. And then they also picked up DeForest Buckner and
That
trade
was
with the
one I was gonna
49ers.
say.
Oh,
I
that
think
was who you
that's-
that was who
low
you're thinking?
key.
Yeah,
For the
massive
first round
get.
pick, I don't know you're getting anyone better in that real middle of your
And
defense.
like that's just like
nah.
it didn't. It was a good trade either way. Really, there like
no real hurt.
The
I think it was
the
pick
Niners
se-
had
was it
so
pick-
many-
was it pick 17 or 11 or
something
in that
around there.
range?
But
Yeah.
like the Niners had just a ridiculous amount of talent at that position. Indianapolis pick up a player who's going to massively help out, and really they haven't lost that much this year in the outs. So they lost Ebron to the Steelers, which is a bit of an out,
bit of a
but
loss.
not too
Yeah.
bad. And then really the only other one was like Devin Funchess.
Yeah,
And I'm
which
pretty
is
sure
not-
he's a COVID out anyway.
yeah,
So
which is not massive.
not massive at all. But yeah, so obviously the breakout player for that
JT,
team is
baby.
going to be Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylor.
yeah.
They're going to run him into the grounds. With him and Naheem Hines, I'd like to think he takes a step in the right direction this year, but who knows? So yeah, I think Jonathan Taylor could be an absolute beast.
That's a good get. I think
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor for where they picked him up in the draft.
Mm.
I mean, I think it was early second,
Yes,
Early
yeah,
second?
41.
41. So you know, for his kind of potential and that strength for a young man,
Yeah.
I think you've
I
got
mean,
every
Wisconsin
chance.
ran him into the
I
ground.
know
Like,
we
it was a
spoke to
beast.
Des last week about the rookie running backs and how much a difference like they can really make to both your cap and your overall success. And I think he's a big chance to really
Can't
help
wait
him
to
out.
run the
Massive.
stock market segment on Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh,
Bye. I'll say this about the South
Certainly
right
in
now.
fantasy,
Now that we've done two teams, I just wouldn't be surprised if Titans, Texans, or the Colts, if any of them won in the division. Like I think this whole division is going to end up coming down to one or two games here or there.
Divisional
like maybe-
games are huge.
Yeah.
massive in this division.
100%.
Absolutely massive. I think one away win here or there for any of those three teams could end up winning in the division.
It's a double points game every time they play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
100%.
Absolutely. You have to come switched on in those
And I
games or
think-
you're in massive trouble, I would have thought.
I think this is going to lead into the next team quite well. I think of those four teams in the AFC South, three have quarterbacks with a bit of a question mark on them.
Yeah.
There is one who plays for the Houston Texans, who I don't think anyone can question. He
No.
is effing awesome.
Yeah, he's good.
He is.
He can play.
And so I think with that slammer, maybe take us away with the Texans, their record and some ins and outs, and then we might get Schnazzy to hype up Deshaun.
All right, so, yep. All right, ins and outs. So they've brought in Cobb and Cooks.
Yep. Weapons.
Both at wide receiver.
Weapons.
Is adding two of them as good as losing D-Hop?
That's a great question. That is a serious
Massive.
I don't know. Like, would you... All right, pose the question.
And David Johnson.
Would you rather have Cobb and Cooks or have D-Hop?
Would you rather the bona
Depends
fide
who you
superstar
are.
or options, I guess?
Depends
It's
who you are.
Yeah.
Are you mitigating risk here by saying, two's better than one? You're looking at the front office going, so
You're more unpredictable. You got better options. You know, you can't just double.
Not better
It's an interesting
options,
one as
more
well because Will
options. Yeah,
Will
more
Fuller's
options, sorry.
often
More
injured as
options.
well. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean,
I
they
think
picked up
I'd
David
rather
Johnson
have.
too. And if David Johnson, I know David Johnson was atrocious at the Cardinals last year.
Funnily enough, David Johnson is my breakout player. Now
that
I know
right?
it's a bit of a
Okay.
strange breakout player
I don't
because he
think it's
has
that
been
strange.
good, but
Well, it's
it's
not
like,
that- not
it
that
was more.
strange.
Yeah, it was more because like he was really good, and then he's come right back down, and it's almost as if everyone's forgotten how good he was for a couple of years
Was
there.
that 3 years ago?
Like, he was going,
on
like-
the ADPs.
Correct.
Yeah, like he was going like
Correct.
3 or 4 in every dynasty league draft. That
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like he was
I
hot.
know
He was
first-
hot
Beautiful.
property.
My first pick the year before this one was David
Like he was
Johnson.
hot
Yeah.
property, and it's almost as if everyone's forgotten completely who he was. So I think that was an interesting get.
Yeah.
I mean,
Potential- there's
Texans
potential to
fans were
break
obviously
out.
going off their chops when
You're
they saw
always
that
going
they
to.
traded Hopkins.
When you
for-
lose someone like that, it's going
Yeah.
to sting.
but I think it
they've
was
done well
I
to
think it was a
recoup that.
decent get in return for someone that you're not expecting a lot out of, but you might get. If you could get him back to the player that he was, that's a massive get.
It's one of those things with running backs too, as well.
Yeah.
Once they die,
Oh, that's what we talk about
Yeah.
last.
You don't-
Yeah.
you don't normally see. Like,
No.
you normally bottom out. You don't normally just drop.
And that's what we'll talk about with Gurley when we get into the
100%.
NFC South later. Like he's had, they're both very similar in the way their careers have gone. But
Yep.
yeah, I don't.
Man, but at the same time, and I know you don't see it often, but particularly in the sense of Gurley, but David Johnson offers a similar kind of conundrum, is that if he does get going and then all of a sudden you've got a running back that Houston didn't have a running back last year that was any chop. Like
Well, Deshaun was.
Who
the
did they
running
even?
back.
I think they
Deshaun was
had.
the running back.
Was it Carlos Hyde?
I think it's Hyde. Yeah, Hyde, and there was another. I think it's
He's
is
gone
it
as well.
Duke
He's
Johnson?
at Seattle.
I think Duke Johnson was there as well.
Potentially.
They're all
Yeah,
trash.
journeyman.
Because I'm pretty sure because Carlos Hyde I think was at the Chiefs.
Warbacks.
Waterbacks.
Oh Jesus.
Jesus.
Throw back to the Waterboy.
Deshaun Watson, Schnazi, tell me a little bit. Tell the fans at home if they don't, which I'd be surprised if they don't know about Deshaun Watson. But what do you get out of him? Some people call him the Michael Jordan.
Well, he went to Mike Clemson to start with.
Oh, good. Yeah.
There we go.
Unlucky to lose last year to LSU.
Yeah.
But one of those things, like losing to LSU, it made it even worse.
Are we talking about Clemson or the Houston Texans?
LSU at the moment, thanks. Ed Ogeron can't speak English. I speak better English than Ed Ogeron, and there's about 2 people in this world that I speak better English than, and he's one of them.
That's so true. I think we've got to talk about the biggest problem the Houston Texans face, and it's the fact that their head coach is also their general manager.
He's a good, in my opinion,
He can
good
coach,
head coach.
not a good general manager.
Balances himself out, you know.
To be average at both.
Yeah.
There is probably a one season.
Maybe his workload is just too big.
There is a 1 season window here to find out if Bill O'Brien is going to save himself as a general manager.
Maybe it was like 3:30 in the morning, and Bill's been up all night. He's been doing like
This is one of my favourite segments.
Massive
Last week he
comes up.
impersonates Belichick.
Oh.
This week we got Bill O'Brien.
it's Slammer's coach impersonations, and he's sitting there, and it's 3:13 in the morning. He's like, "Oh, I've just had this trade come in from the Cardinals. They want D Hop. What do they want? They want D Hop, and they're going to give me."
Was it 2
Johnson. They're going to
first
give me Johnson.
G'day, Bill. Can we
couple of
can we
picks.
flog you a second and David Johnson for D-Hop?
Deal.
Ah,
Deal. Andrew O'Keefe, that's a deal. That's a deal. I'll take that.
It's
And
what-
then Twitter just blew up.
it just went.
And
He
that
wakes up
probably-
in the morning and goes,
What have I done?
I reckon Bill would have woke up real quick.
it's Chernobyl all over again. It's blown right up.
And the Soviets are coming for it too. I'm not comparing Houston people, the good people of Texas.
No,
to
not
Yeah,
the
let's
blow,
steer right away from
That
that.
that is not what I was saying whatsoever.
Can I give you my Madden shade for the
It was an
Texans?
analogy. Go
Because
for it.
I
an
am
analogy.
not happy.
Right.
Not happy at all. How can you possibly tell me that JJ Watt is a 98?
Hype or swipe, Schnaz?
I love JJ, but 98.
98?
98.
I've got something to say right now.
Say it.
JJ Watt's not the best Watt brother.
Ooh.
I'd rather have...
Right.
Did Davo
I'd
prime
rather
you for
have...
that?
Yeah, Davo was in the ear all week. He's like,
man,
you
it's
talking
good
about the South? And I was
TJ,
like, yeah,
TJ,
man. He's
TJ.
like, dude, TJ, so much better than JJ. And I was like, oh, I'll see if I can get that in there for you, Dave. You know. So shout out, Dave.
Yeah, shout out,
It's-
Dave. We want to get you on the show one day, mate.
The old
So just
tactic
keep-
from the Focus
Man, a few
movie,
words.
You know, you
Cool.
prime him. You got to prime him, and Dave's primed you all
Yeah.
week to come through.
Subliminal
Ironically,
messaging.
we-
Subliminal messaging.
We won't even have to get Dave a microphone.
No.
He would just have
No.
he could just come in here and sit because he won't say anything.
He won't say anything at all.
Get him his own camera though.
Just for the reactions.
Yeah. Oh bloody oath. That is
The
fantastic.
beer pong partners at the end of the table.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
God,
that's
they did have a good night that night.
They did indeed. In fact,
Oh.
we might have to film the next iteration of that and
So
show
true.
some footage because that would be good viewing. Hey,
Uh-huh.
let's talk Jags really quickly.
I'm going to finish on my Texans
Really
record.
quickly.
You want to go Texans first?
Texans. I have to give my record. It's
Oh,
going
of
to be
course,
7 and 9.
of course.
And the
Oh, I don't think I gave my record.
Yeah, you were 9 and 7, and I was 7 and 9.
Yeah.
And then what we had a stalemate with the fans at home, 50-50 on the line of
Oh, so
9.5.
true. Yep.
Wow.
So
So what does that tell you?
that
Everyone's
tells me
undecided.
that-
Everyone reckons 9 wins?
well,
Roughly.
yeah. So
Oh, Slammer's got another one.
Well, we love the fans, but we can't trust the
Wait,
fans.
wait,
to
wait.
let this gospel just shit.
I'm going to lure you in here. Is that a guarantee for 9
Yeah.
wins?
Can we get another guarantee on the 9?
I'm not going to guarantee you
Oh,
an
you-
amount of wins.
You got no. You got no.
Unfuck
nuts.
yourself. You
No
don't
nuts.
deserve it. But what we're saying
I'll
here is-
guarantee you on the Jags in a second.
Yeah. They're coming. They're coming.
So, what we're saying here is the fans at home are saying they're buying the lines on the over for the Titans and the over for the Texans, and then under for the Colts, and then under for the Jags, and the Jags line was 3.5, which I think is way over. Way over.
I should.
16!
I should specify.
Wins!
Duck egg. That's an absolute duck egg.
I should specify. These weren't any betting lines. I just made these lines up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, these went from pretty much
You
my
didn't tune
predictions.
into our good friends at Sportsbet this afternoon.
No, I didn't. I just went, what would Slammer think?
Right.
And Slammer thought that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're probably not far.
But it's probably about right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
To be fair, I looked at those.
I got my ear to the
But
ground.
Schnaz has got him on a duck egg. Slammer,
Yeah.
you've got him.
I've gone way higher than that, Blaze.
Have you?
100%
Way higher.
Well, 100%.
That 100% of 0 is still 0.
You have to be the worst account I've ever seen.
He's not doing my taxes.
I'm not touching my taxes.
I've got him 1 and
I'll get you
15,
100%
which is what Schnaz was trying to tell you. Yeah, so I've got him 1 and 15.
Jesus Christ.
Out of this world.
Yeah,
So, at best, at absolute best, they might get
1 win.
1. No, come on. At absolute best, they get
2.
2.
Okay.
2. At absolute
Wait, so
best,
if we're thinking about this before we even think about who they're playing in their division, what team this year do you have being worse
Well, they're
than
gonna-
the Jags?
They'd be
I
the
mean, you
consensus
hated
pick.
the Jets last week.
I did hate the
Do they
Jags.
play? I think they play each other.
But I think that I gave my Jets win against the Jags.
Blaze, go on really quickly. Get up the Jags schedule and let's just have a look.
Yeah, no worries. I'll
All right,
just,
well, hang on. While you do that, I'll talk about the ins and the outs for Jacksonville.
Right, okay.
That'd be a good
Right,
idea,
it
wouldn't
will not take long.
No, I love dead silence on the mic. That's what I'm
The
about.
fans at home as well. The commuters on the commuters podcast.
But imagine the
Commuting
people
in silence.
Imagine the people just sitting there on the train thinking, "Oh, what are they going to say now?"
Yeah.
They think
They would have been
their AirPods are
on
going
the
flat.
edge.
What do you reckon?
On the edge of their seat. Right, so the ins for Jacksonville, it is literally one player and then some draftees.
Right.
So Tyler Eifert's come in from Cincinnati. Not a bad get. Not a
I'm
bad
on
get.
that tight end.
And then, this is a good one. Schnaz will love this. So, Clavon Chasen, the edge out of LSU, as I said before, any player you can get from LSU, they're going to be good.
Take him.
And
So,
they've got good
it was
ears too, because they're used to listening.
that's so true.
Really, really. What was that, Ed?
This theory.
I'm not sure. I'm not. If that was a stock exchange plays, I might be selling that. And then they picked up Chenault, the wide receiver out of Colorado. We've lost it here.
Stolen
luckily-
segment for coaches.
Luckily, yeah. Stop trying to steal my coach
Pull it
segment.
together.
Right. So my outs. There's not a lot of outs, but quite frankly, that's because there's not a lot of players anybody else would want.
Oh, I wanted him.
They lost Marquise Lee to New England. I'm pretty sure he was a COVID out anyway.
Yeah.
So like, who cares? Yeah. My breakout for them.
Yep.
I was going to go Minshew, right? I was going to, which means I haven't. So I didn't. And I've gone Conley. Now you might think, why'd you go Conley, Saber? I'll tell you, because he used to play for the Chiefs. He can play. Dude, he can play. And I'll tell you this. He's good buddies. He's good buddies with Pat, because him and Pat were down somewhere.
Well, Patrick's not throwing him balls anymore.
I know,
so-
and that is going to hurt him. But they were out vacationing and they were throwing him on the sand, and I thought,
Just go
jeez,
back into
Did you?
Conley looks like he's going to have a good year, and then he was gone, so it didn't matter. But I do think he could explode. And if Gardner can have an okay year, some people like him.
His
I'm not
year
sold.
wasn't that bad
I'm not
last
sold.
year.
No, I'm not sold. I'm just saying I don't. All right, here's what I'll say.
So,
If I think Jacksonville was sold on Gardner Minshew, they wouldn't have sold everybody else to make sure that they go, as we've got them 1 and 15 or 0 and
But
16s to
they've got-
guarantee. They are going a guarantee for Trevor.
Are you guaranteeing they're going?
I guarantee you they
'Cause
get
they've got a lot of
I
first round picks.
Slammers guarantee
I don't want to overuse
the
it.
number 1 pick in the 2021 NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars select, and that'll be it. Like, it'll probably be Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, but I guarantee you they will have pick 1.
This dude has just put on Adam Silver's voice to
Yeah.
do the NFL draft. He's
Well,
got his codes.
Yeah, I'll give me your best Roger Goodell then.
I wouldn't have a clue what. I had no clue.
That was I don't know.
anyways, getting back on track here.
Good, because we have gone well off.
Yeah.
The old used car
Straight
salesman
us up.
back at it again.
Straighten us up.
No, so to touch on the Jags before we actually, what we're going to do is look at their who they're playing, and we've got to really wrap up the AFC.
Hang on a
quickly
second. Just give me the stats from the Instagram poll today. So 65% of people are saying under 3.5.
Yeah. Who's out there?
Who clicked over? Someone who's confused.
I'll tell you what.
Let's not throw our fans offside because
It's
we're
a safe place. Our fans,
we're in our infancy still.
our fans can vote as they see fit. But
It's a
yes,
safe
that's
place.
probably the wrong.
35%.
You will be
to go over
criticised.
3.5. You will.
Yes, you.
You will be held accountable for your actions.
But no, before we jump to too many conclusions with the Jags, which Slammer's already guaranteed, it's inevitable that they're getting Trevor Lawrence. What we're
I
going to
think
say
that'd be
here
a
is-
good get.
So Gardner Minshew last year 21 touchdowns,
Yeah.
and only 6 interceptions.
That's about a good rate.
He's doesn't look bad. Plus, I saw the video of him too, where he threw the ball outside of the stadium. That was a great game.
I've got love for him because the big mustache is something I'm trying to emulate at the minute.
But the problem is, in the last 5 games last year, sacks 12 times, which is about 2.5 sacks a game or something.
Yeah.
There's just they brought in. We had this chat earlier. They brought in no one on the O line. They've given him no help, and that is why they are not going to win a game, in my opinion. And quickly looking at their schedule,
they'll be fully shot.
If we go to their schedule,
all right, I'm going to run you through it quickly. I want win loss.
All right,
we'll
just
rattle
them off.
How about
We'll
we
just rattle
shout
them off.
out when there's going to be a win?
Yeah,
All
okay.
right,
Yeah,
all right.
you just
that's
tell
good.
them.
Jags Colts.
Just say the opposition.
All right, Colts.
Nah.
Titans.
Nah.
Dolphins.
Nah.
Nah.
Bengals.
Maybe.
Texans.
Maybe.
Nah.
Nah.
Lions.
Nah.
Nah.
Chargers.
Nah.
Nah.
Texans.
Nah.
Packers.
Nah.
Steelers.
Nah.
Browns.
Nah.
Nah.
Vikings.
Nah.
Nah.
Titans again.
Nah.
Ravens.
Oh, probably not.
Chicago Bears.
Oh,
Possibly.
maybe. Where is it? Oh, it's in Chicago.
Yep.
Nah.
And then the Colts to finish. And
Yeah.
Nah.
It's 1-15 or it's 0-16.
So there's
Yeah.
not, there's
No
not
doubt.
heaps there. But I think that's going to just about do us for the AFC.
No, I've got one last thing on the Jags.
Is that right?
I've got one
Yeah.
last thing. Their second highest Madden rated player.
Oh, okay,
This
I like
tells
this.
you all you need to know
Yep.
about how poorly the Jags are going.
Right.
Their second highest rated player is their kicker,
Yeah, that's not good.
who has a rating of 85.
Do you know his name? Because I don't.
Well, his last name is Lambo because I wrote it down.
Oh, Josh Lambo.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've had him on Madden before. As a child.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
That's about
and
this-
that's no shade to him.
No.
But
I'm
if
sure
your
Josh
second
Lambo is
best
a great
player,
kicker.
if your second best player is a kicker, you have got problems.
Unless you're Baltimore.
Wait,
It's
who-
Tucker.
He is not their second best player.
He's a great kicker, though.
Yeah.
Arguably one of their most important players. But that's rambling. Let's move along. So that will wrap up the AFC South.
Yep. AFC South done and dusted. And
NFC South.
I think what we really want to do out of the gate with the NFC South is stress the fact that there's going to be some controversial opinions in the next bit, and no one should get offended. And I'd like to get out in front of this before we get to the Bucks. So I
Why don't
think
you
they're
tell the
coming up
people
second.
about the bets that you've got going currently?
Right. So you know what? We're going to do that, but let's start with the Saints in the NFC, and then we can get to the Bucks, who might drain a bit more time.
Getting through this pretty quickly because the Saints, they are an absolute weaponized
Powerhouse.
team.
They're a juggernaut.
Powerhouse. In that dome, powerhouse.
I've got them going 14-2, but for some
What?
reason, our
Holy
fans
crap.
think 56% of our fans think they're going to go under 11.5 wins this year.
Jeepers. That must mean that a few of our fans are pretty hot on the Bucks then.
Yeah, well, I imagine.
Yeah, well,
I know a few. Of
A lot of them follow me, so then they'll be following Brady, so then they're going to be following the Bucks.
Yeah.
So, understandable when you look at it like that.
14-2 though.
Yep.
So you're building a band of bandwagon.
I am building a band of bandwagons.
Yeah,
One day
that's
I will
your
build
army.
a car and I will get them all and I will pull them with me. We'll do a tour around America.
Yeah.
East
There
Coast to
you
West Coast. As long as your team is good, we'll stop in your town.
He's going to have like hundreds of mules at the front, like all these people, and he'll just be sitting on his little bandwagon
On my throne.
with
Support
his
the channel.
17 flags.
Support the channel, grow it enough that we can afford to put Schnars on a cross-country trip across America in a cart, in a horse and carriage, or something like that, and we'll call it the bandwagon.
Any way to get rid
That
of
would
him.
be...
Any way to get rid of him for 3 months.
Correct.
have to move this podcast international.
I can't believe you've got him 14-2. Like that's huge.
Yeah, well, if you
I don't even have the Chiefs 14-2. Actually, no, I think I do.
So, with the Saints, my
Yeah, I
opinion,
do.
well, the only question mark I have over them, which isn't really even a question mark, because Drew Brees is their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
But what if things go... It's a huge what if. What if things go pear-shaped? You've got Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
And then you've also got Crab Legs.
All right, yeah. So, all right, say that. Let's say Father Time does catch up to Breeze. Who do they play? Do they play
Jameis
Taysom
Winston.
Hill or do they
Jameis
play
Winston.
Winston?
Jameis Winston.
Hill's a very good situation.
Or do they split it? Do they go 50-50? Do they
It will be,
run?
because
do they
Hill's
run a lot of wildcat
They already
stuff?
do that a bit.
No, but I know they do it a little bit. But would they go to a place where they did it almost 50-50? It would be almost random sub in, sub out quarterback.
I don't
That
think
would be something we
that would
haven't
not
seen.
bode well for
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, though, because, you know, his consistency is very inconsistent.
And I think all the big plays would go to Taysom Hill and then Jameis.
Anytime you need just a...
Yeah, he'd almost
You
be.
need 2
He'd
yards,
almost be
you get
like
Jameis in.
handcuffed. So like he's almost going to be
You need a
throwing.
Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
If you want him to heave it 60 yards and just have no clue exactly where it's going.
Only needs to throw it 30 as
I'd
well.
be. It's gotten to the point. I'm worried that Jameis is colourblind.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe he just can't see what uniform he's
Shout out
chucking
our
it to.
boy Delsey, one of the fans.
Oh.
He's colourblind.
Oh, Shane will tell you.
Yeah, he's like a
Shane's colourblind.
He's like a dog. A dog's colourblind? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
It's like horses. I got a horse next door. Can only see black and white. There's a
I
fun
think,
fact
yeah,
there.
one of these days we do need to show the fans the fact that you've got a horse that hangs around the back of your joint. That's
Yeah.
It's
But
a
at the
genuine
moment, we're
horse
nowhere
as
near
well.
Schnaz's
It's not.
joint.
It's not.
a genuine horse.
All right, so,
Slammer, what do you got to
so
say,
New
Sam?
Orleans. So I got New Orleans going 12-4. I think that's pretty much par for the course. I think they could go 13-3. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't think they'd go much lower than 10-6. I do think they'll. I definitely think. Yeah, I think we'd all agree that I think the Saints will be playing in the postseason.
I think so. Yep.
barring
As long as
something dramatic.
as long as they play in that dome, they're very hard to beat.
Yes,
Like, that's just
yes.
a-
But will that get affected this year
Well-
with no crowd? Because
No,
I think
no.
New Orleans would be one of the teams that would massively benefit from crowd noise.
But playing in a dome compared to playing in a bubble, pretty much the same thing. Only team with experience playing in a bubble.
No,
You are
there's
just
lots of indoor teams.
You are
but
clouded.
anyway.
You are absolutely clouding tonight. And I
It's another one of those.
I do love it. but
Another
that
one of
is a-
those facts that aren't facts.
That is an
There he is again.
unsubstantiated
So
fact.
they did get Malcolm Jenkins in the offseason from Philly.
Pretty good.
I think that's a
good
pretty
get.
good
That's
get.
a good get.
They picked up Emmanuel Sanders as well from San
Also,
Francisco.
Pretty handy receiver.
Yeah, if he could have run a little bit faster, they might have won the Super Bowl,
Well,
but he
Jimmy
didn't.
threw a little bit short.
Whoopsie. Anyway, and then they picked up Winston, obviously, from Tampa Bay. So obviously they lost Teddy. I think we can all agree, probably the best. He was definitely the best backup
yeah.
quarterback last year.
He was the best second stringer last
Yeah.
year. 100%.
They lost
no doubt.
Bell, the strong safety, and they lost Eli Apple, which I think Schnaz will tell you.
That's a win. That is a win.
And then in the draft they picked up Cesar Ruiz, the center.
Which is a very good get.
Yeah,
in terms of
24
O-line.
as well. They're going
Yep.
quite late.
Yep.
And then they got a guy called Bourne, the outside linebacker, and that was about the third round. They didn't have a second round pick.
Right.
So
they didn't add heaps through the draft. But
no, but I mean,
they don't
how
need
many
to.
holes did they
They
have
don't
really?
need to.
Yeah,
They don't need to.
yeah. And I think those free agency
Were
acquisitions
targets.
were way better than what they were going to be able to get in the draft anyway.
Well, you brought in Malcolm Jenkins, who kind of covers your Von
He was a
Bell,
star
Eli
for Philly the
Apple
other
was.
year.
And then obviously you got Sanders coming in just for more help, I guess, for Michael Thomas.
Sanders
on the line.
does. I think was there something I read? Sanders has played like in the last 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls or something like that. Like I'm pretty sure he played in like Denver's and then he played in San Francisco's last year.
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't win, but he's played in a lot of Super Bowls.
right.
Like
And
I
obviously
think
the
actually
last 4 might be
I think
too
it was
high,
like it might be. I think there was something about the number 3 though. I think if he got to a Super Bowl with a third team or with a fourth team,
Yeah.
he'd be the only player to have done it or something like that. And it was like, yeah.
Because
So
he never played at the Patriots.
no.
No,
I know that for a
Back
fact.
when you were
You'd know.
Patriots.
You'd know.
So I've got an interesting breakout player for you. This one though.
Yeah.
Lad on me.
So Davenport can't quite once again. I did not hold on his first name. It might have been Marcus. I'm not sure.
Right.
Anyway, plays edge. Now they traded up.
I think it is Marcus. Yeah.
Traded up. I think a year or two ago from 27 to 14 to pick this guy up. Now he's been good, right? He has been serviceable. Obviously, he's playing on the same line as Cameron Jordan, who's just an absolute freak. If anyone's played Madden and you've played against the Saints, you've been sacked plenty of times because this guy is a bad dude.
What was the time we were playing a game? I don't want to get into this for too long, but we were playing a game once where you got sacked by Cam Jordan like 7 times, bro.
I think I got sacked in the game 7 times, and I got sacked by Cam Jordan 7 times. Like it was just ridiculous.
Yes, man, Marcus Davenport.
Didn't think about looking for him or just watch him come at you.
Man,
or
I'm playing quarterback. I'm not playing like right tackle. Anywho, so
just genuine blindside.
but yeah, so I think if
7
this
times. I can guarantee you he's no good at math. 7 times.
you got to get the ball out quick if you're playing against the Saints, is
You're
what I'm
gonna
saying.
fire it,
But anyway, so if this kid can go from pretty good and take his game to the next level, could be an absolute star.
That could be quite the tandem, I guess,
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
Absolutely. And then so my Madden shade.
Right.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. People are going to be like, Slammer, you
Just
have
don't,
lost.
just don't
your plot."
don't say Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas. He is at 99.
Is that good?
That's too damn high. You cannot tell me that you would have Nuke, D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins at a 98 and have this guy at 99.
Yeah, but didn't he win? Wasn't he?
I don't
offensive?
care.
Broke all the...
I don't care. He's
all-
playing in a dome. He's got Drew Brees. Like, it's a bit too easy. Like,
D-Hop had...
and he's also the only target. Like, he's the only bloke getting thrown the ball in that wide receiver room. Like, no offense to the others, but I don't even know who you are, so it's irrelevant.
Emmanuel
Which is
Sanders.
probably why they've... No, but he wasn't there last
Yeah, I
year.
know.
So like, what I'm saying is D-Hop had all those other guys to compete with. Like, have you... Like, D-Hop catches the ball like nobody else, other than the great man Larry Fitzgerald. Nobody catches the ball like Larry Fitzgerald. But D-Hop...
Oh, what about Odell doing these ones?
No, Odell's crap.
That's you on the couch.
So, D-Hop is the best receiver in the game, and that's a fact. That's a slam and guarantee.
Right. Okay.
So,
Three
for mine,
tonight.
way too liberal with that.
For mine...
Jim at home's going to be having a field day editing this, going guarantee, guarantee, guarantee.
For mine, they've got him just a little... I'm not sitting here saying he's not a gun.
Yeah.
He's an absolute weapon, that's no doubt. But... For mine, he's not the best wide receiver.
The shades of comparison with your Dak Wentz thing.
Dak he's not the best wide receiver in the game.
Wentz isn't an 84.
Yeah.
D-Hop probably is a 99. Michael Thomas might be...
I think he's a 98, 97, something like that.
Yeah.
I think if you had to pick... I think if
you're comparing apples for apples here, and you're saying, you know...
I know, but what I'm saying... I had to find something, and look, the Madden people had done okay when it came to the New Orleans people. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if you had... the 10th pick in the draft, and no wide receivers have gone off the board, and they're all there, and you could pick one, I think you take D-Hop before you take Michael Thomas.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Who have we got seconds, Marcy?
I reckon what we do here is we skip over second because we've both got the Bucks, so we can spend the last, 10 minutes talking on them.
Yeah.
I reckon we roll through the
You want to go out of order?
Got to roll through the Falcons and Panthers.
The Bucks are going to be...
Bucks are going to eat up some time.
Yeah.
So I've got the Falcons going 3-13, which is unders.
Mm-hmm.
Jeepers, we
compared
are
to a lot of people.
here.
And I've got the Panthers also going 1-15. No shade to Teddy Bridgewater, just shade to everyone else in that roster.
Well, they didn't pick a single offensive player in the draft. They did.
No.
They went
Wow, that's a fact.
They went all defense. There wasn't a single offensive player selected, and you brought Teddy over. So, and I know you've got C-Mac, who, I mean, I don't know what you've got on
I
your
can't
list,
believe you've got a team with C-Mac and Teddy going 1-15.
Yeah.
But that's what
He might be the best running back in the game.
But what else?
He might be.
What do you
He's
mean?
very good. He's top 3.
I think he's a 99 overall on Madden as well.
He is.
But what I'm saying here is you've got competition for your guarantee for teams tanking for Trevor.
Nah, I don't think so.
They got rid of their coach.
I don't think you go. No, I don't think you go and get Teddy if you're thinking that's what you're doing.
You do it. It's perfect. You get him.
Why?
You bring him in for 2 years.
Nah. If that was true, if you were tanking for Trevor, you don't bother going out and paying Teddy because you had to pay him money.
But you've got no
It wasn't
one else
coming
anyway
on
who's going to win.
You just leave
You
Kyle Allen in there or put some 6th round
You still
quarterback
have to
in.
get fans coming to your game
It's
in that year.
Fans can buy in for a year at a time if it's for the logic of maybe getting Fields or
But you
Trevor.
can't be perceived to be tanking.
Well, the Jags are
actively.
doing it.
Are they doing it though?
Oh yeah, the Jags are doing
They
it.
didn't bring in
But
a six rounder like you said. They've got Gardner Minshew, who was pretty capable last year.
Well,
So quickly on the Falcons, the biggest unknown with all of them is Todd Gurley. He's got a bit to prove coming off this injury. Is he going to continue going down?
You've got him 3-13, which is the fans are saying 76% under 6.5. So that's probably about
doesn't bode well for Slammer because Slammer's got him 7-9.
Yeah, so you've gone against the grain. Why? You've got.
Are you hot on Gurley? Talk us through this.
It's not really Gurley. I don't know what it is. What I'll say about the Falcons, I don't think the Falcons are that bad. Now, I think if you look it up, I don't know the facts. I haven't researched it enough. But I think if you looked at the last 5 or 6 games of last season, I think they went okay. Because I actually think Atlanta had started remarkably poorly and nobody was noticing what they were doing at all. And I think they actually ended the season...
They've got the 5th easiest strength of schedule too.
Right. So I actually think that they ended the season quite strongly. So... They've bought in Fowler, a defensive end, and obviously they've bought in Gurley. Now, they're both... Fowler's good, and Gurley can play. It's whether his body can hold up or whatever.
They won 4 on the trot to end the year last year.
There you go.
7-9.
So I think it might have been 4-1.
So they were 3-9.
4-1 or 5-1. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So they were really bad to start, and then I think they got in a bit of a hot stretch, which is actually, I could have almost mentioned it in the stock exchange thing, a team that no one was looking at, that I think actually might be better than people expect this year.
That could be a fair little sneaky.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think there'd be anybody looking at the Falcons. I don't think it's
for good reason. I got them going 3-13.
I know, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that maybe they sneak into a playoff berth. Not with 7-9. They'd have to go a little bit better than that. But so they picked up AJ Terrell, the cornerback from Clemson, and they picked up Davidson, the defensive end from Auburn. They lost Hooper, Trufant, and Beasley, which are 3 pretty big outs, which is hard.
Certainly Hooper at tight end. He's one of those ones we were talking about.
Yeah,
catching
Cleveland were pretty rapt, I think, to pick him up. My breakout for them, though, is a guy that I don't know how many people have heard about him, but I think he's a good player, and I think he shows a lot, and I think he could complement Julio in a massive way, and that's Calvin Ridley, a wide receiver. Give me your thoughts.
Understated Calvin Ridley. I think he's got he's got some wheels and some clean hands, and I think you can go a long way. He's obviously a bit of he's developing.
Yeah.
He's not established just yet, but of course that's what a breakout is.
What has he had, 2 or 3 years in the system, something like that?
I think this is probably his third, I think.
Yeah, and Julio doesn't get anywhere near enough love.
No, of course not.
In probably anyone's opinion, really, that Julio is an absolute jet and just deserves to be talked about more than he is. But I think this Ridley kid, I really think that he could explode this year. Like, I really think he's got the tools.
If you haven't had your fantasy draft, you're looking for a sneaky one probably a bit later in the piece.
and I can guarantee you Slammer's got him.
Oh, well,
Should we, if we get any fans out there who want to do a draft, we don't want to be fans or people we know.
Yeah, we want...
No
offense
to
people
we know,
but
we'd
flame you.
Flame them anyway. Across any continent, part of
whatever.
America,
anybody that's listening, we've all got the Sleeper app. If anyone wants to download the Sleeper app and join the Slim Slam and the Bears fan,
reach out to us on Instagram, shoot us a DM, and we'll get back to you.
We'll post an Instagram story tonight.
And if we get enough love for it, I reckon that's a great idea.
How can we do it?
I think setting that up, because obviously you've got the chat function in there, so you can be a part of it with the boys, and we'll talk some shit.
All right, fantastic. That's a great idea. Great idea on the cuff.
On the fly.
Love that.
That's what I love about this show, baby.
100%.
That's right. I love that. I love that. It's very intuitive.
Right, now, Madden shade for this one is Gurley at an 86.
Yep.
Too high.
Is it? Yeah.
It is too high.
It's too high.
It is too high,
I think
from
other years, it's too low. But from the last 2 years, what we've seen...
There's a huge inconsistency
it's just
with Madden
too low.
ratings being based on your reputation, your name, and how you performed the season before. Exactly what you pointed out with D-Hop and Michael Thomas.
And a lot of people get guided, like their NFL experience is guided on
those ratings. That's what I'm saying. Like, too many people get the game, have very limited knowledge, don't really watch a lot of games because obviously they're on very early when you're
Gurley's
here.
86. What, you say 86?
86,
If you see 86, you think, Gurley's alright.
Yeah.
You're like, Gurley did anything.
Yeah, really. He's been non-existent.
Super Bowl run, he was non-existent.
Well, that entire year. Really, let's be honest. Right now, like if he was healthy that year, they would have been really dangerous. Like, they would have been way better in the Super Bowl. Like, they were very easy to defend against in that Super Bowl because they knew that they couldn't run the ball.
Oh, they would have flamed old man.
Oh, they would have flamed.
I think he's coming. He's coming like
he's coming.
The fog on the water.
Should we quickly get into Carolina? We really haven't talked about the ins and outs there at all.
I think I mentioned it before. 1-15, guarantee they're competing for Trevor.
Slammer.
I've got him at 5-11.
Run through the ins and out quickly.
So they picked up Robbie Anderson, massive get. No, that's a joke. He's not a massive get, but he's an okay get. At wide receiver, they picked up Teddy, which was a massive get. I think Teddy is really underrated, and I think I'd go as far to say. Now I know I said that Minnesota was the team that I'd buy stock in for the penny stocks club. I think if Minnesota go back and have their time again,
why would they let him go?
Why would you choose to move on? And in that stage, they chose to move on from him in favour of Case Keenum.
Yeah, which is just turned into
which to me at the time and still to me now just
does
baffles.
That raise question marks over Teddy? There must be something about it. There must be an intangible thing that we can't see.
I think it was just an injury thing, and they were like, maybe this Case Keenum guy can go all right. And maybe Minnesota were just looking for a game manager.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And there's a constant thing that people talk about.
Is it because he's not big enough? Is it because he's skinny? Is it because he's small?
It's quarterback presence. It's quarterback presence. Teddy Bridgewater strikes me as a very likeable kind of average.
Do you think there's just not enough grunt in him? Does he look too nice?
I'm not going to go on about
Does he
Patrick,
even have a good track record?
Walks in a room, Patrick Mahomes in the room.
Yeah.
When Matt Ryan walks in for the Falcons, Matt Ryan's there.
Yeah.
Brady.
If Aaron Rodgers walks in a room, Aaron Rodgers.
Teddy Bridgewater walks in. Do you even know he's the quarterback?
Yeah.
Really? I love him too. I don't know.
There's just something about his persona that doesn't speak. I'm a number one quarterback.
No, it doesn't even speak.
Maybe
I'm an NFL quarterback.
It just doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. It doesn't give you that feeling of I'm going to drag you boys along with me. I'm going to take you with you. Just get on my back, and I'm going to take you with me.
He's not doing a Gronkowski. He's not putting 3 defenders on his back and taking them.
All right. I've heard too many Tampa Bay Buccaneer player names.
Are we there?
To not.
Are we there?
Explode into this.
Oh, the alarm bells are going off.
There's red flags going everywhere, and I think we've got some
I'm going to start. Not even with their record, but I'm going to start with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jason Pierre-Paul, McDonough Sue, Shaq Barrett,
and
OJ Howard.
Is that what he tried to say?
Yeah. Oh. Robert Gronkowski. I haven't made too many mistakes.
No, you've been pretty good.
And the GOAT. The GOAT. Tom Brady.
I was going to say, for the
How
last time I
that line
checked,
up there,
Pat didn't play for
balance
the Bucks.
between offense and defense.
Yep.
You know, the Bucks last year weren't a bad team besides Jameis. They weren't a bad team at all. You add the talent of Gronkowski, most importantly. Bring the
Jameis had like
one
of the biggest yard totals last year.
Who, you know, one thing Jameis was not he was not a game manager. He couldn't read situations.
Correct. And he wasn't accurate.
No.
Correct.
He's pretty much just chucking it up for anyone.
So after all of that,
He's colourblind.
You've got a bit of an equation there. You add it all together, and I tell you what, that equals 11-5. You can chalk it down. Oh, good season.
Oh,
I got through the
God.
whole podcast.
We'd almost
Jim's
got through.
got
Jim,
a-
get the
oh,
beeper
God.
out. We went so close. We will get there eventually, sports fans.
I'm
but
about to blow that
up
bleep
until
meter up
then,
when I talk about these.
you are going to
fucking
get a
pricks.
very loud bleep in your ear because Schnaz has gone off again. Now, I'll say this, Blaze. I've got him at 10-6.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't help the bets that you've got going this year.
Yep.
But sports fans at home on the Instagram, they have said 52% of them have got them over 9.5, which would mean obviously that 48% have got them under 9.5. And I do think that 9 and 7, 10 and 6 area is right where they're going to be. I don't see them going a lot higher. I don't see them going a lot lower.
Give me your ins and
My
your
ins
outs
and
for
my
them,
outs.
and
All right, so
and I'll
now
blow my
this
lid.
this first one was good because I think in actual fact on
Better
a
be
lot of
Robert
draft
Gronkowski.
boards, no, I'm doing draft. So on a lot of draft boards, I think people had Tristan Wirfs going a lot higher
Yeah.
than 13. What he actually did end up going to the Bucks. So he's the tackle out of Iowa, and the dude looked mean.
Yeah, real.
Is that? Hang on. Is that the guy? Is that the guy that was the videos of him jumping out of the pool?
I reckon it
Dunno.
was.
Don't remember.
That's the
Okay.
one that was
There's
a
a video of-
jump in the pool.
Yeah,
out
standing
onto the
jump
coping.
in the pool
Yeah.
and out, like, and standing up, like, yeah, freaky.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was him, but if it was, it's sneaky. It just rang a bell.
Rings
man.
a bell
It just
to me
rang a
as well.
bell. They picked up Winfield Jr. From Minnesota, is safety. That was pick 45. Obviously, they picked up old man Brady. He's a 43-year-old quarterback.
And what about our mate?
He's not just a 43-year-old quarterback.
Yeah,
He's Tom Brady, the greatest of all time.
He's
about-
Tom Brady that in the last 2 years has fallen off a cliff.
What about our mate?
Won a Super Bowl in the last 2 years.
With how many points?
All right, and you
And
tell
who
me.
cares? A
Hang
Super
on.
Bowl is
you
a
tell
Super
me.
Bowl.
All right, you tell me. If the coin flip goes the other way a year and a half ago, do they get into that Super Bowl? No.
If D Ford isn't offside, do they get in that Super Bowl?
No.
I can hear and sense some saltiness amongst my fellow Chiefs fans.
Because if it wasn't for a friggin' coin right now, I'd be sitting here talking about the back-to-back Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
But instead, we're talking about the GOAT, the 43-year-old Tom Brady. So,
anyway, and they've also picked up LaShawn McCoy, who, quite frankly, nobody else wanted.
No.
Because he did not even suit up for the Super Bowl last year for the Chiefs.
Let me tell you a little story. When Tom Brady went to the Buccaneers,
I jumped on the phone straight away.
bloke to my left and a few other fans back home got in my ear and started talking about the fact that this team is now going over the top, that they are no longer 7-9 Jameis Winston Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They're
and
the
we're talking-
preseason hype champions.
Correct. And preseason hype is all they are.
Yeah.
We're talking about a team that was 7-9, and Schnaz can list all those names with the exception of Gronkowski coming back.
7-9 and ended up with a worse record than the Falcons last year.
Gronkowski has come back into that team. All those pieces were there with Jameis Winston, heaving it, absolutely heaving it with no accuracy.
Yeah, but the no accuracy
absolutely zero.
resulted in that many turnovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he lead the league in
That-
yards and lead the league in
No,
interceptions?
I think he was second in touchdowns. Was it second in touchdown?
I feel like he
Yeah,
won
most-
one and
he had
won
the most
the
yards.
second in
pick.
touchdowns.
He definitely won the pick six award.
Yeah, 100%.
He loved that.
he-
I don't even think that was. I think he had that one at the midway.
He went
point of the season.
ESPN. He went ESPN 30 for 30. I think.
Oh,
I think he did.
I
Well,
actually,
no,
think
did he-
actually, he might have had the exact same amount of touchdowns as picks.
I think he went 30 for 30. I'm pretty sure that was.
Google it.
I can't. I'm talking.
No, Google it, because I'm going to tell you about my Madden shade.
Well, I'm going to tell him about the 7-9 Tampa Buccaneers.
All right, you keep going then.
When all this went down, a bet was made. I've got the Bucks going the same as they did last year, 7-9, purely based on the fact that I don't think having Tom Brady at the helm there is any different to what Jameis Winston is going to give you this year. Now, I love Tom Brady. I've watched that documentary of him where he's, the sixth quarterback off the board.
Pick
and all the rest of it.
199 or
And
whatever
I
it
love
was.
it,
yeah.
and I love it, and I love the story.
Oh, he was a gun.
But Tom Brady is 43 years old.
Look, It's coming
And he's
across
just not
poorly.
that good
It
anymore.
sounds like me and you hate Tom Brady. And
They
never,
do. They tell me every day. I wake up in the morning. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? Oh, Tom Brady.
It comes
It's
across.
just genuinely, I hate Tom Brady. Every time.
It's coming across as if we were massive haters and stuff, and we weren't.
They are.
And Blaze can tell you, on a cruise ship a few years ago, I was all hype because we were hyping them up because we wanted them to beat Seattle.
They were trying to join my bandwagon.
No, it was just that we hated Seattle.
There was no room on it, big
so what I'm saying is, like, it's not that we don't think Brady could ever play. It's just that in the last 2 years, his production and stuff,
He hasn't shown anything.
his production and stuff has really fallen off. And uncharacteristically, he started to miss open receivers. He's missing them high. He's missing them low. He's just not the same player he was. And that's not massive shade. Like, that's just, he's 43. Like, I expect him to be making these mistakes.
It's fine.
Like,
It's fine.
anyway,
it's just not. Well, we're gonna get.
He's
we're
just
gonna
not
we're
what
gonna
he
get
was.
Gronk out of
His
retirement.
stats were worse last year due to some of the receivers he did have, though. There were a lot.
Yeah,
of
that's
drop,
fine, but
there were a lot
that's
of drop
fine.
balls which brought
that's
his
fine.
accuracy,
But
his
also, there was
speed-
a lot of drop ball. There was a lot of not drop balls. There was a lot of balls going over people's heads, or there was a lot of balls going at people's ankles.
happens.
There was a lot of jokes going around
Yeah,
last
but
year
it
about the
did-
fact
no,
Tom Brady
but
could
it-
throw to anyone in the stand and they would catch it and score touchdowns. Tom Brady took that literally last year and was throwing into the stands.
I don't think he can throw into the stands.
He couldn't get his arm length there. No, but what I'm saying is, so you can say that happens a lot,
Debunks
but
that
you can
myth.
also say that that didn't happen a lot for the majority of Tom Brady's career. Like, he was a very accurate quarterback,
Super.
and that is just not what he is anymore. I do think that he gives you a better chance to win than Jameis Winston does. That's true. But I'm not massively sold on the Gronk thing, to be honest.
neither.
And that leads into my Madden
He's
shade.
been in the WWE doing suplexes and shit.
No matter though, is he their number one?
But does that
tight
take
end?
away
It
from
will
what
be.
OJ Howard had? Like,
Who's
OJ
the
Howard's a
number one
very young tight
starting the
end.
season?
It'll be Gronk.
It'll be Gronk, but I don't think it should be.
If he comes back and he, there's all these talk out there. I'm not over there, obviously. I don't watch training camp.
Yeah.
The talk coming out of there is he's very fit and he's moving very well.
Yeah.
I want to see someone powerbomb
He
a
is probably-
defender. That's fine, but
Is
he's
he-
not in the WWE anymore. He's not coming off the top rope.
You're
like Jeff
talking
Hardy.
about arguably the best tight end ever.
No, hang on. Hang on.
No,
No. And the two best tight ends ever both played for Kansas City. And that's Tony
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez and Travis Kelce. So maybe
There's
he's
no
third.
way Travis Kelce is better than Gronkowski.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, so what I would say is
fans, they're delusional.
I think you should
One
start.
good season where they win a Super Bowl
One.
and they think the
Hang
sun
on.
shines out of their
Hang on.
eyes.
There's been a lot of good seasons. There's just been a lot of playoff collapses. Now, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm saying is, I think OJ Howard should be the starting tight end, and you give Gronk like a little, just probably more so a red zone role where he's just a huge
impact
target.
player.
In the, yeah, exactly. But because there was a lot of talk when they hired him, and then when they got Gronk, to say like trade OJ Howard, and I can't think of anything worse they could have possibly
don't
done
think
to
that
trade
way.
out
I think
trade
it was
out OJ
outside
Howard,
ones.
who was 24,
They
25.
end up trading
to get-
Cameron Bray, or they keep him as well. They're going 3 deep
No,
at tight
I
end.
couldn't answer
No, I
you
don't
that
think
question.
they traded him.
But this leads directly into my Madden shade. Blaze, you're going to blow your lid.
Yeah, right.
They have got Gronk rated at a 95.
Sounds good to me.
95. He's like the second highest ranked player on Tampa Bay's list. We're talking about a bloke that hasn't even seen a snap for a year.
Does anyone
How
recall
can
the
you
last time-
possibly say that?
Does anyone recall the last time Rob Gronkowski was on a field?
Yeah, a Super Bowl that he didn't do anything
He was
in.
running like he had
one catch.
something strapped on his
But
back.
do you not think
that
taking
weighed
a whole year
million
off,
kilos?
resting his body because he's been banged up for it.
Schnaz, you've taken 3 years off. What's it done for your body?
My thumbs work. But like he's taken.
No,
it
but
off.
seriously, how can you have a year off and look as broken down as an old man as he did, and then come back and give him a 95 rating? We're not talking about the player right now.
Oh,
what I'm
no,
talking about is
yeah.
the 95 ranking, and
yeah.
that is just it's outrageous.
Is he a top 5 tight end
Oh, he
in the
would
league
be
this year?
Yeah, according to Madden, but no, not.
What about according to the guarantee?
According to Slammer's guarantees, no.
So he's not a top 5 wide
No,
receiver.
I wouldn't have
top tight
thought.
end. Who? Maybe a segment for another day. We might bring this
Off
back
the top of
to
my
run out
head,
time.
Kelce, Ertz, the bloke out of Baltimore. What's his name?
Must be good.
Yep. I don't know. Mark Andrews. Is it Mark Andrews?
Mark Andrews.
Eric
Yep.
Ebron's pretty good as well. Sorry,
Yeah.
you didn't even mention George Kittle.
George Kittle. There you go. So,
Mike-
all right. So, in the 5 players that even we just mentioned there, do you even think he's a top 5?
Let's bring back
Yeah.
the stock
After a year
exchange.
off?
We'll bring back the stock exchange next week instead of tight
All right.
ends. I wouldn't be interested in doing
Ranking tight ends.
ranking tight ends.
All right.
Let's do buy and sell on tight ends, but we really need to start thinking about wrapping up because we are approaching our
No.
our kind of time.
I agree. So, essentially, moral of the story is here.
Both of us have got the
Slammer
Saints
and
winning
I-
the division. Both of us got the Titans winning the division.
Yep. Which is, once again, we've agreed, and I think we've lied
And
to you in the
I think
first
we've-
episode because we said we wouldn't agree on much.
No,
well-
and I think we've both probably got the Bucks just squeaking into the playoffs as well, and we've probably not got another team from the AFC South squeaking in. I wouldn't have thought.
Correct.
I would have thought just
Before
one
we
team
do
would get
just
there.
hop off this chat entirely. The Bucks will have to play the Saints twice, the Falcons twice, and the Panthers twice.
Yeah. Well, Snaz is telling you the Falcons are the
I don't think
and the
there- I don't
Panthers
think
are
there
easy
any
wins.
I don't think there are any chance against the Saints. I think the Falcons will be better than expected, and I think the Panthers.
I think the thing that
and
hurts
I think
the Bucks-
Panthers are definitely a smoky.
I think the thing that hurts the Bucks is the fact that they've got the Saints week 1, and I think it's in New Orleans. Now, New Orleans do have a bad record
Imagine
of
if they
opening.
win that game,
opening
though.
But you also know what division they have to play in the AFC this year.
yeah, it's the AFC West.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got Chiefs,
So
Chargers.
you can just guarantee 4 losses
Oh,
for all
Broncos.
those teams there. Actually, I think it's I've got the Chiefs going 14-2. Not getting off topic, but the one of the losses I do have for the Chiefs is the Saints because you've got to go to New Orleans.
Well, if you're looking at it, though, like, you mentioned they're playing, the West, or the AFC West, sorry. They've still got a middle of the park strength of schedule. So, they've got some top teams that they're going to play, and they've got some...
Yeah, I'm not sure who their
well,
NFC
you've got the
division
Raiders.
they're playing is.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, I reckon that wraps it up on
Yeah.
on the NFC South. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
What do you
I think we've done really well tonight. I think you
Yeah.
guys have
I think it's been a good
episode.
episode.
As per. We've got some consistency once again in the rankings. I think the Titans probably looking at a real good spot there for playing some more playoff football next
Yeah.
year. Likewise with the Saints, but they're always around the mark.
But I will still say that AFC South, that could go one of 3 ways.
100%.
That's really up in the air.
100%. The Bucks, obviously some differing opinions, some strong, some otherwise. And then from there, I guess the Colts and the Texans kind of float around in a playoff spot. Maybe with
Yeah.
the extended format, they might have a shot. That's probably about it from
Yeah.
us tonight.
All there's
Do you
probably
wanna-
left to do is plug ourselves.
Yeah, do you want to
Well,
tell the people about the socials, Blaz?
Well, I think the socials, if you're not already on them, check us out. Facebook.
And we would just like to say thank you for all the
Oh,
people that
100%
have gotten around the
jumped on.
socials in the last two or three days.
We're recording this a day after going live, and the support
Yeah.
overnight and today has been fantastic. So
Yeah.
thank you.
And
to
all the
fans.
messages from people that have been
Yep.
loving it. We really appreciate that. So thank you very
And I
much.
mean, like we said last week, we're doing this as a passion project. We really want to give it a real
He's
red
gonna
hot
get
crack,
on
and
that
obviously we're
board.
putting some effort into it. So if you do enjoy it, keep sending us those messages because I know for a fact the ones I've got today, I'll flick to the boys and vice versa. And
Yeah.
it really does. You can probably tell by the
Spurs you on.
you can tell
Yeah.
by the show tonight. The energy's up. We're feeling good. We want to keep this ball rolling.
Yeah.
And really launch into when the games start talking, and there's some real kind of conversations around Slammers guarantees and my
And they're all
opinion on the
guarantees.
Bucks and all the rest of it. So I think socials, Facebook and Insta, if you haven't already, Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan is where to find that. Twitter, SSBF Podcast. We are pushing Twitter now. It's going to be more important than that and Instagram in terms of when we're going to start clipping up our best bits and our little highlights of rants, not dissimilar to what we've just done about the Bucks. That will no doubt feature sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Without-
We'll give that to Jim.
Yep, Jim will be eating that up.
He'll edit that,
We did
yeah.
just sign on a
Is
new
that Jim
producer
Tiki?
during the week as well. So
Jim Tiki?
yeah, Jim Tiki will be looking after a few little things there. So an extra pair of hands to help out
Yeah.
my good self, which is excellent. Spotify and
YouTube.
YouTube now. So we're available on YouTube. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon Fan. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like because all that support is really going to help us build the channel to
Follow us on Spotify.
and follow us on Spotify. So we really want to be able
And
to
don't forget to subscribe.
build.
Subscribe on YouTube. That's
subscribing
massive.
is massive because it gives us a chance to spread the word and get to people that we might not be able to reach otherwise. So if you enjoyed the show, tell your friends about it. Get them involved. We love to interact. We want to interact. That's going to be half the fun, I think, moving forward.
Apple Music?
So Apple Music is going to be coming in the next hopefully the next couple of days, if not in about a week's time. So that's where to find us. Check us out. Like we say, share us around. Tell us your mates because, we're for the people. We're for the fans. We want to have a laugh and that. So just keep it coming. We'll keep it coming. We ain't going anywhere. We've got more to talk about next week. What division are we going to have a look at?
We'll go to the north. We'll go to the north next
going
week.
north
We'll
of the
leave
wall?
the, we'll,
King
get,
of the
we'll,
north.
we'll leave the best divisions to last.
All right, fair
to
enough.
West
too.
divisions. So
Yep.
we'll go north next week, Blaze.
All right, King of the North. Start your research now, boys. We've got a
Will
week's
do.
time to get on that.
Thanks
Anyway,
a lot.
What do you got to say, Slam?
Slammer, send us out, baby.
That's a wrap for episode 2. He's been Slim. I've been Slam, and that's the Bandwagon Fag. Good night.